Hi, and welcome back to Everybody's Garage. So, in our last video, I had showed a couple of mowers that I'd put together out of, made into one, rebuilt the carburetor and whatnot. At the end of the video, I hope everybody would agree that that mower actually ran very nice. When I got done with that video, I actually took that mower out and mowed with it, and it mowed fantastic. It ran great and everything. And I am happy to announce that mower did sell, and I was able to go down to Walmart and Harbor Freight and all that and get some supplies. So we got enough here to do the paint job on a Craftsman. Now, another thing, so that Craftsman video probably won't be coming out for a few weeks. I'm actually gonna finish off the season with that mower. The reason why, that mower is cutting so fantastic right now. I mean, look at that lawn. It's that lawn is so uneven and full of ruts and everything, but this Craftsman is just straightening it right out. I've been running a bagger and everything, so I'm gonna finish off the season with it before we take it apart. But the good news is we have everything here to finish it. And another area I had mentioned, the garage doesn't really look much different, but it is, believe it or not. There's still some junk everywhere, but I still got more to go. I got a bunch of stuff in the shed over there I got to pull out and strip down and everything, and I got a lot of this and that to do and everything. We got a good scrap pile going over here, and we're going to be adding to that thing, so we're well on our way. But this one here, this is currently on a chopping block. We have, this is a 2002. It's basically the same deck as the other Craftsman. We got the 6.5 Quantum on it and everything. Right now, the main problem with this thing is why I'm not fixing it. It's kind of hard to see right here. We got some rot going. Got a rot hole through it, and she's real punky around this area. So I don't know whether or not this deck is going to be saved at a later date or whatever. But what I want to do on this thing, I want to get the engine running. I want to test this transmission to make sure it's good. This is a direct replacement for the other mower, and I want to know if this Quantum's any good. Because I'll tell you, for a 2002 mower that is well worn, you want to notice right here around your dipstick area, I have not cleaned this mower or anything. This is how it came in. Thing been sitting here about a year. It's pretty clean under there. I got some up here. We got some oil, so I don't know whether it's a head gasket or possibly the valve cover gasket. We're gonna dig into that in a little bit. Right now, this engine doesn't seem to have a lot of compression. Also hear something else going on under there. Actually, let's take a look at that real quick, because I think we got something underneath of it. Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody's been here. Yeah, I bet you that'll make some noise. So I'm gonna have to pull this guard right off of here. There we go. Pull the blade real quick. But yeah, this deck's pretty crusty underneath. We'll take a better look at that later on. But right now, what I'm gonna do on this mower, we're gonna do a real super fast carb clean on it. This mower's been here about a year. It's been sitting in the backyard the whole time. When I first got this thing in, I did give it a spray, and it did fire. So I know it does somewhat run, but we want to make it run under its own power so we can actually test this transmission, make sure it's good, and see if the motor itself might be any good. So anyway, I'm gonna take it real quick. I'm gonna spray the deck down, then we're gonna get this thing up on a stand, and we're gonna start working on that. So we'll be back very shortly, and we'll get started on it. All right, guys, so we're back. I took this thing outside, gave it a little quick bath and everything, pulled this cover off of here. This is not the cover that belongs on this mower as far as I'm concerned. You want to notice right here, your one hole that was holding it in there, all oblonged and everything. I believe on the older Craftsman, this thing just slid in there, and then you would have your other bolts, at least one of them that would actually, line up with something in order to make it fit right. I believe this is an older MTD cover. Kind of hard to say. Right here and right here, there's little pins that would have stuck up. Those are your belt guides. So they've been cut off already and everything. I mean, I ended up cutting this cover up a little bit in order to get it off of the mower, just so it wasn't hitting anything. I don't believe this to be the original cover for that, but so we got some butchery going on. If you're gonna butcher something, why not take one of the bolt holes? You already drilled one and put a self-tapper in it. Why not do one of the back ones and put a self-tapper in that? But I don't know. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about that. But speaking of butchery, found myself a new chisel. This is one of the mowers out of one of the mowers I took apart. MTD. The mulch plate was sticking up a little bit, and I didn't think anything of it. And this is what was holding it up. So I got me a new chisel out of the deal, and we're gonna actually use that on this mower. So here is, on a Quantum, you got a couple tabs on the muffler here. We're gonna pry them loose, and we're gonna pop this bolt and see if we can't. I want to see what's going on. I popped the valve cover off of this thing and make sure our valves are spinning correctly and all that. So give me 1 second. We're gonna do that. All right. That should do it. Perfect. Alright, you got impact. Hopefully the bolts don't snap. Nice. No, I don't think anything broke. Sweet. Now we're going to go ahead and pop the valve cover off of this thing. I want to see if the valves are actually opening and closing on this motor. Yeah, well, hold on. Let me bring you in here real quick. Let's give you a glimpse. We are filthy up back here. I cleaned up the front of it. I don't know whether the head gasket or the valve cover gasket's leaking, but we are definitely filthy over here, so we could very well just be a valve cover gasket. But as I said, I just washed this off a little bit. It's not bad in here, but right here, I think we got a valve cover gasket leak. So go ahead and set you back over here for a second, and we'll go ahead and go ahead and pop this valve cover off of here. I'm just curious what, oh yeah, that bolt was as loose as it can be. one was too. Alright, well that's kind of a good sign. But my main concern is the fact that this engine has very low compression. Oh, you lose that bolt. Yeah. That valve cover was not sealing whatsoever. I just want to show you something real quick. On these older Craftsman mowers, this transmission actually spins the whole time. As you noticed, it's not engaged. It's got like a clutch or whatever inside of it that engages it. So I want to see. So you got your exhaust valve here, your intake valve here. I want to see both of these valves actually moving. Alright, so they are moving. The exhaust isn't moving quite as much as I'd like it to. But, alright. Alright, give me 1 second and we'll go from there with it. Alright guys, let's get cranking back on this one. It's a pretty good delay in this video. Had some other issues going on, life in general, and blah blah blah. Anyway, so I buttoned up this other side back up. Threw the muffler back on and everything. I did get that exhaust valve moving a little better. I put some brake cleaner in there, and you know, it was moving a little better. This engine, if this engine runs good, it's definitely a candidate for a valve job. I could see all sorts of sludge on the exhaust valve and everything, but you know, for right now, we gotta hear it run before we do anything. But anyway, where is it? Here is the plug that came out of that thing. It's kind of grungy. It's definitely got some oil on it. But one of our problems is right here. This oil's full, but it's just as black as anything. So that's going to be part of our issue. That oil gets so thin, it's going to blow by the rings anyway. Now normally, like I said, I would be concerned with this engine. You got a lot of blow by that's going to come through your dipstick tube. That's a common issue on these engines. When it's filthy there and everything, probably got some blow by coming through. And also, we're going to pop this air filter real quick. We're going to take a look at that, because that's another common area where they where the blow by would come through the vent. Now that valve cover leaking as bad as it was, that is definitely going to be some of the blow by right there, which could, you know, potentially stop both of these issues. But I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical here. I want to give this engine every chance we can give it, just because of the fact that it is an older Quantum. They don't make them anymore, and I hate to scrap a good one. So just in case, I mean, it's worth my time for the few minutes it'll take to get this thing going. But yeah, this air filter, well, it's not good by any, actually it's got a hole in it, huh? But it's not bad as far as, you know, oil soaked and everything. And so your vent for your breather is going to be down here. If this engine had major blow by going on, this would just be soaked with oil where it was just blowing right through. Again, like I said, that valve cover leaking was actually taken away from some of that, but it would still get some in here. So I have not cleaned this whatsoever. So I'm kind of hopeful still. So up next, we're going to pull this float bowl off of here, see what we got. I don't know if this thing's, like I said, I've never, as far as starting this thing on actual fuel, I have not done so yet. So see what we got going on here. Ooh, yuck. Alright, well that's not good. Not too awful bad. Alright. So, here's a float bowl. Definitely has some grunge in there. The jet I'm going to assume is plug solid, but that's alright. We can clean that real quick. But yeah. So, you want to notice on your Quantum, any of your older Quantums, actually any Quantum, here's your primer button. You're going to notice there's a hole in the middle of it. That hole is actually a vent. This is not just your primer, this is also a vent for your carburetor. So we're going to go ahead and flush that out of there, which I'm going to show you a real quick trick to that. What you're going to do, go ahead and take a thing of carburetor cleaner with the wand on it. Throw your wand right in that hole. Alright, you notice, I don't know if you can see it or not, we had carburetor cleaner coming down through the carburetor. So that vent isn't looking all that bad. And we're also going to take and go ahead and blow a little air through it. You want to be careful doing this part, because if you blast too much, you'll blow the primer right out. Ask me how I know. There we go. All right. Now we'll blast a little more in there, give her a pump and see what she does. Yep, all right. All right, that seems to actually be working. Now, where's that old, there it is. So, on one of these Quantum carburetors, this is going to be hard to see because it's still got the gasket. Right here where my finger is, you're going to see a little hole there. That's where the primer and the vent is. Right here, you're going to see a little brass looking piece. That's what's going to feed the air to your emulsion tube. So we also want to clean that out real quick, which is kind of hard to do with the breather on it still, but it can be done. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of get the paper clip in there and ream it out just a little bit and try and get a little, you know, like I said, this is just a quick deal. Not, this isn't a full rebuild by any means. So, if this carburetor surges or whatever, yeah, I can understand why. Alright, is that. So, alright, now we're going to go ahead and take this jet, run it on a wire wheel real fast. That's just a super fast clean on a wire wheel. Nothing major. We're not, like I said, we're not going for a full carb setup here. We're just gonna clean it out as best we can and hope for the best with it. You know, if we can hear this thing run off of this carburetor, that's really what I'm after. I want to hear this thing run and see if it's worthy of fixing, or do we just, you know, do we pull the motor and scrap it? I mean, whatever. Blast some carburetor cleaner through there. Hit it with a little compressed air. Hey, that'll work. All right. So there's that. Like I said, not perfectly clean, but it's definitely clean enough to run. Just give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this float bowl up a little bit and everything, and I think we're gonna be set to go. But I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're back out in the driveway. Had one other slight issue. I ended up, I threw some gas in this thing when I was done. Of course, it's leaking all over the place. We had the original fuel line, or a very old fuel line on this thing. It's just leaking profusely. I did change it out, but I did have to take that breather plate off in order to get it to the carburetor. The gasket tore, as always it does. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to prime this thing or not. Worst comes to worst, I'm gonna go ahead and spray it just so we can hear this thing run. I will warn you right now, this thing is gonna smoke like Dickens, just because of the fact that I had put oil in the cylinder while it was sitting up on the stand and everything. So I mean, it is what it is, but we gotta get this thing, we gotta hear this one run. So here we go. So we have a 2002 Craftsman. We're gonna try and prime it a couple times, see what it'll do, and go from there. I think so. Nah, I don't think we're getting a prime. It's alright, we'll give her a spray. See if she's doing anything for us. Work with that. I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, I knew there was gonna be some smoking and stuff. Other thing I wanted to show you guys before I end this video. Another thing. Ow. Getting old sucks. Look at the lower crank seal there. Look at how dry that engine is underneath. That was another deciding factor in actually fixing this one. So, all right, I'll tell you what we're gonna do on this one. we still got a couple more cuts to give. That engine sounded actually excellent. I'm gonna change the oil on this thing. We're gonna put an air filter on it. And I'm gonna straighten these spindles out a little bit. Oh shoot, you know why I never even did try the self-propel. We'll have to work on that. But anyway, if that self-propel works, we'll go ahead and do all that. And we're gonna do a couple mows with this thing. All right, we got the red Craftsman sitting over here. That bagger off of that mower will fit this mower. I'm pretty sure anyway. So by the end of the next video, we will give you the results on this, because this engine sounds excellent. I got a revival, actually I got 2 revival videos coming up back to back. One of them is something I actually need, so I should do that one first. One of them is actually really cool. It's something I don't need, but it's really cool, so I don't know which one's gonna come first. But anyway, hey, I thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's been kind of boring and whatnot, but you know, I think we just saved another old Quantum, a very good healthy one. So anyway, we'll be back shortly, and we'll have some more. So thank you for viewing, and have a great day.